Good morning, Adriana.
Good morning. How
I
are
wanted
you?
I wanted you to know that I sent you and Lee um, a kind of a history, a brief history of.
Yeah, I
You saw?
just received the message. I was reading a while ago, but it's very long, so I will read it later. But yeah, I received the message.
Yeah, and I would. I'm not suggesting that we just paste that. Of course. I just wanted you to get an overall idea. That plus another piece that I was putting together, which I'm going to try and blend them. Um, I I would like to do that at some point. In terms of the website, my suggestion would be for you to at least be able to explain that there are four different sub corporations, well, corporations that were set up through the years, each one for a purpose, and they all
Hey,
come
Papa,
together
excuse
now.
me. Hey, Dad, I'm sorry. Do you want this information on the stream?
It's I'm not going to say anymore. I just wanted to.
Okay.
That was all I was going to
We'll
say.
call you. We'll call you in a little while. No
No
problem.
problem. Nope. Ain't no problems.
No doubt. All right. I got
But I did
everything.
hear, yeah, but I did hear everything, Bob, so don't worry. I will take into consideration that, and I will remember you the four things that you were trying to tell me, so we can speak about it later. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Tom.
Sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Everybody's sounding great this morning.
Excellent.
Fantastic. We have a wonderful morning reading this morning. It's lesson 190. Papa, forgive me. I'm going to mute you there so we don't hear the page turning. Today, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And
This book is a real page turner.
it sure is. We're making some progress, aren't we?
Yeah,
Why?
actually, on lesson
Mm-hmm.
185, which starts off to say these words is nothing but to mean these words, that was the lesson that went past mathematically half of the book, put us into the second half of the book. And I'll give a little calculation.
Good
And
morning.
there's,
Good morning.
Well, that's so cool that we're halfway through. That's awesome.
yeah,
I'm glad you did that because honestly, I keep getting confused at where halfway through the year is. For some reason, I thought it was 180, and then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So, what is the halfway point again, Papa?
what 185?
182, 182, 182, 183 should be the lesson
Yeah,
in the lesson in the middle because it's
That makes
36,
sense.
365 days, so
182
it
and
That
should be
makes sense.
182
183.
or
It's either
183.
going to be 183 or 184 in a leap year, right?
Okay.
That's true.
So it's okay. I was just
All right.
reflecting on lesson 185, which is I want the peace of God, and it has that material I first heard like 30 years ago, um, which starts off to say these words. I want the peace of God. To say these words means nothing, but to mean these words is everything. And then the second half of that tape, it turned out, is only, hold on, yeah, 189. Whoops, that's not what it was. Yes, it was. In 189, what we read yesterday, paragraph 7, um, was the second half of that tape that I heard so many years ago. It's the one that started, simply do this, be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is, all concepts, and you probably remember that from yesterday. So I found those two and I put them together finally,
Mm-hmm.
185 and 180, this other one, 189, paragraph 7.
Well, it
It's
all
just
does.
interesting.
It sums up and it puts us in a place where we know we've laid the tracks for the railroad, the train's on the
Mm-hmm.
tracks, and the train starts moving forward. In my opinion, we start really gaining some momentum in this course because
Oh
The
my
rest
God,
of the
I saw.
lessons are
I
about applying all the stuff that we've been getting. And so this is the part where it kind of feels like we start heading downhill. The roughest part is over from
yeah.
one perspective, and who knows what's in front of us. But
Well,
let me read a little bit more.
part one also is almost over. Part two actually, I think, starts at lesson 200 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly.
Yep, 200.
Oh no, 220, 220, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, we got one more review to go through. That's right.
Yeah.
So
All
220,
great.
221 will be the start of the next one. But we've got
Exactly.
this nice little stretch to go, so let's finish this one up. Here's
Mm-hmm.
lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Pain is a wrong perspective. When pain is experienced in any form, pain is a proof of self-deception. Pain is not a fact at all. There is no form that pain takes that will not disappear if seen aright. For pain proclaims, God cruel. How could pain be real in any form? Pain witnesses to God the Father's hatred of his Son, the sinfulness God sees in his Son, and the Father's insane desire for revenge and death. Can such projections of pain be attested to? Can these projections of pain be anything but wholly false? Pain is but witness to the Son's mistakes in what the split-minded ego thinks he is. Pain is a dream of fierce retaliation for a crime against God that could not be committed, for a fictitious attack on God who is wholly unassailable. Pain is a nightmare of abandonment by an eternal love which could not leave the Son whom God created out of love. To those who believe they are sinners, pain is a sign illusions reign in place of truth. To the egoic mind, pain demonstrates God is denied, confused with fear, perceived as mad, and seen as traitor to himself. If God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, there is no God, for vengeance is not part of love. And fear, denying love and using pain to prove that God is dead, has shown that death is victor over life. The body is the Son of God, corruptible in death, as mortal as the Father. Excuse me. The body is the Son of God, corruptible in death, as mortal as the Father the split-minded Son imagines he has slain. Peace to such foolishness. The time has come to laugh at such insane ideas of pain's reality that would proclaim a God of love to be cruel. There is no need to think of these insane ideas as savage crimes or secret sins with weighty consequence. Who but a madman could conceive of these insane ideas as cause of anything? Their witness, pain, is mad, as they would proclaim a God of love to be cruel. And pain is no more to be feared than the insane illusions which pain shields. For pain tries to demonstrate that a God of love, when disobeyed, is cruel and revengeful, and that this must be still true because you suffer pain. It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression. No one but yourself affects you. There is nothing in the world that has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail. But it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. As you perceive the harmlessness in all things will accept your holy will as their will. And what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. My holy brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. The world you see has no effects at all. The world you see merely represents your thoughts. And the world you see will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. Your higher self is radiant in this holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable forever and ever. And would you deny a little corner of your split mind its own divine inheritance and keep the egoic mind as a hospital for pain, a sickly place where living things must come at last to die? The world may seem to cause you pain, and yet the world, as causeless, has no power to cause. The world you see is an effect, and an effect cannot make more effects. As an illusion, the world you see is what you wish. Your idle, egoic wishes represent the pains you see in your world. Your strange desires bring evil dreams to the world you see. Your thoughts of death envelop the world you see in fear, while in your kind forgiveness does the world live. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Pain is the ransom you've gladly paid not to be free. Wow, that's a heck of a sentence. I'm highlighting that one. Pain is the ransom you have gladly paid not to be free. In pain is God denied the Son he loves. In pain does fear appear to triumph over love, and time replace eternity in heaven. And in pain, the world becomes a cruel and bitter place where sorrow rules and little joys give way before the onslaught of the savage pain that waits to end all joy in misery. Lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults of egoic misperceptions about your higher self, which your ego seeks to hide your higher self's holiness. Here, when you drop all egoic thoughts of danger, fear, and judgment, will you understand there is no pain. Here in your defenselessness does the joy of God belong to you. It is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson that contains all of salvation's power. The lesson that contains all of salvation's power is this: pain is an illusion. Joy is reality. Pain is but sleep. Joy is awakening. Pain is deception. Joy alone is truth. And so, again, we make the only choice that can ever be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or pain and joy, or hell and heaven. Let our gratitude unto our teacher, the Holy Spirit, fill our hearts as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. And that's lesson 190. Thanks for being here with us. Good morning, everybody. So happy to see you guys. If you feel like joining us up top, let me know. Rose, it's great to see you. Lee, how's it going? Jordan, Christine, Jenna, Santa's, Salway, good to see you. Come on up, Lee. Here we go. I'm going to read the notes now from Tom's book, Understanding A Course in Miracles, Workbook Lessons, How to End the Blame, Shame, Guilt, and Fear with Love and Forgiveness. And these notes are really helpful to me. I read the lesson out of Tom's book where he replaces a lot of the pronouns for us. It's exactly the same as the regular book, just with a little bit more clarity for people that are just kicking back and listening and want it kind of spoon-fed to them. It makes it a little bit easier on me. So here's lesson 190. The notes from lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. This lesson is critical to reawakening our sleeping mind to the truth of what we are. This lesson contradicts and overturns what this world of fear and hate was designed to teach us. It states that our mind, not some external force beyond our control, is the cause of the world you perceive. This world is merely an effect of your mind's own thinking, and it is powerless to affect anything at all. As we have said many times in many different ways, the world is a reflection of you. Pain is incorrect perception. When you experience pain in any form, it proves that self-deception is currently ruling your mind. Pain has no reality except in the deluded mind of the one who thinks it. To your ego, pain is the proof that you are not God's beloved child with whom God is well pleased. Pain confirms that you do not know what you are and that your mind has accepted your ego's limiting beliefs. Pain proclaims that God is cruel. Pain bears false witness to God's hatred for his sinful Son. Pain embodies our egoic belief that the illusion of lack, limitation, and separation is real and has replaced the truth. Pain is based on the belief that God is vulnerable, could be hurt, and when hurt, love responds to their disobedient child with cruelty, punishment, and revenge. If a God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, the love of God must be dead or an illusion. A God of only love and a God that would punish and inflict pain cannot both be real, for each is a contradiction of the other. Only one God can be the truth. Your egoic thought system is based on the belief that you're a limited ego body in competition with other ego bodies. This is based on the belief that there are outside forces that are beyond your control. These outside forces are the cause of your world, and you are an effect of those forces. It sees you as a victim and not the creator of your world. This lesson states The source of your world is your mind. That pain, like your world, is the result of your own thinking. That there is nothing external that can hurt you but yourself. And as a child of God, you've been given the power to dominate all things on earth as well as heaven by merely recognizing the truth of what you really are and claiming your divine inheritance. This is a world of perception and not absolute reality. As such, it is pliable and follows your will, thoughts, and beliefs. Perceive your world as harmless and holy, and your world will accept your viewpoint and reflect that same harmless, innocent, and holy nature you assigned to it. Your world is an effect of your thinking. An effect is neutral in that it has no causative powers of its own. Being an effect, your world has no ability to impact or create other effects. Your world, you see, represents your thoughts and will change only when you truly want it to change. In each moment in time, you get to decide what you will value and why. You, as decision maker, must decide whether your world will bear witness for either fear or love. When will you decide to choose the joy of God instead of pain? Pain is illusion, sleep, and deception. The joy of God is reality and represents a mind that is awake and knows what it is. It is a choice between truth versus illusion, pain versus joy, heaven versus hell, or joining versus separation. The world reflects your mind's true beliefs, desires, and wants. These beliefs are often hidden and buried deep within your mind and may not be what you consciously claim you desire. Because your mind's beliefs and desires make your world by looking at your experiences, you can determine what you truly value, desire, and want. This lesson asks that you accept responsibility for your world of dreams. It asks you to drop your belief in victims and victimizers and lay aside all of your ego's plans for self-defense. God's Son needs no defense. Defenses make the illusions of lack, limitation, and separation and pain all seem real. That's been my tripping point for most of my life. Since your mind is the causative agent for your world, replace your ego's misperceptions with the truth of the thought system of the Holy Spirit. Choose to see your world as innocent and sinless. Accept the creative power of your mind and know that you make your own provisional reality. Yet also know that in your defenselessness, God's Son is invulnerable. When you do this, the illusion of a fearful world is transformed into a world of mercy and love. On the game board of life, you are the writer and director for all the experiences that you call into your awareness. You get to decide if you will star in comedies or tragedies. The world you see does nothing to you and has no causative power to affect anything. Your world only reflects your mind's wants, values, and desires. Nothing sources your experience but your own mind, and nothing can rob you of your own peace unless you choose to write the script that way. And that's the end of Tom's notes. The question of the day is, if you're your own script writer, why are you told to lay down your weapons, defenses, and judgments if you seek the peace of God? And I will hand it over to Tom to take us through a nice little meditation. Hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday morning so far. And I'll see you on the other side of that. Thanks, Tom.
Good morning. Yesterday, we saw the law of seeing, and the law of seeing said that you will see what you feel within. Today's lesson, I choose the joy of God instead of pain, is actually saying that pain is caused by incorrect perception or misperception. And yesterday I mentioned, that there were basically the Course in Miracles doesn't have a lot of laws, but once in a while they do declare something and say that this is the law. The law of God is to give is to receive. The law of seeing says that I will see what I feel within, which really basically says that my beliefs are going to color my world. That's what I really truly feel. And then the law of perception is this idea that when I condemn, I am made prisoner. When I forgive, I am set free. In the world of time and perception, what the fear based thought system is based on is something that the Course referenced as the laws of chaos, but actually they're only effective. They're only something that we, uh, as a split mind, assume and believe to be true. They're actually the laws for misperception, incorrect perception, or the laws for pain. So I want to just briefly, since they say that we really have a choice, and the choice we have is the choice for joy of God, which is really the truth, or instead we can choose pain, which they define it as misperception. I just want to rattle off the laws. The book called them the laws of chaos, but I'm going to call them the laws or the belief in misperception, or what causes misperception, or as this lesson says, what causes pain. The first is that truth is different for everyone. Earlier, we talked about the idea of the Course in Miracles definition of truth. Truth is true, and only truth is true, and nothing else is true, that the false is not true. So that's the law, the first law, that truth is different from everyone, and everybody seems to see things from their own perspective. So, as a script writer, you can choose between the truth or misperception. The second law of chaos is that each one must have sinned and therefore deserves punishment. This gets to the idea that somehow we've become separate, and therefore, as sinners, we must earn our way back to heaven, and that we deserve punishment. So uh, it's this idea of lack and separation that is cemented in this second law of misperception. The third law is that God has accepted the Son has fallen, or that the Son is a sinner. And this belief itself says that God sees us as a sinner, and therefore, as a sinner, we've done something wrong that we must be punished. Therefore, the, this law of misperception, this third law, basically transforms the truth that God is only unconditional love into a God of something to be feared. Someone that now is being cruel, seeking revenge because we hurt this supposed God of fear. The fourth law is the belief that what you have, you've taken. You have to take. It's the idea of a zero-sum game. And it's this idea of form. Earlier on, it said that form cannot be shared. If I have a sandwich, I give you half. We have one whole sandwich between us. But now I believe that I've sacrificed because I only have half of a sandwich. You've got the other half. The truth is that we're sharing an idea, a thought. We're sharing our abundance. There is no sacrifice. There is no lack. So that's the fourth law. And the fifth law of chaos, which is the laws of misperception or the belief in misperception, is this idea that there's a substitute for love. And love is unconditional love. The substitute for love is conditional love, which sets us on a law of special or a relationship that we perceive as special. We perceive that we lack something, we're not whole, perfect, and complete. Therefore, we seek outside of ourselves for something that we believe will make us whole. So this lesson says, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. So today, what we're going to do in this brief time together is to look at those decisions that we've made and decide whether or not we want to choose for misperception or if we want to accept the truth. So get in a comfortable position and just become aware of your being, whatever you want to call that. But your being is really consciousness, it's your awareness. It's not some form or body, it's mind, spirit. It's your truth of what you really are. Uh, am I okay in regards
You're
to
okay.
audio? Oh, okay.
You're okay.
All right. So just become aware of that essence, that consciousness, that ability to place your awareness on any aspect that you choose to place it on. And it's that awareness, that placing of your energy that actually activates that into your seeing mind. Uh, Today, we're asked to make the decision that we value truth, that truth just is, and that this world of time and space, this illusion of separation, is false. Misperception is not our reality. And today, as you realize you as individuated consciousness, you have a decision to make. Do you want to accept the truth that you remain as God created you, perfect, whole, and complete, part of that oneness? Or do you wish to imagine that there's some other truth, that somehow the false, your belief that you could lack, that you could, that truth could actually, the false could be true and therefore have some impact on you, be your reality? That's a belief, a misperception. And today, as an individuated aspect of consciousness, you as decision maker decide to accept the truth, that the truth just is, and the false, this idea that truth could be different based on my beliefs. That's the misperception. That's the cause of pain. Today, I accept the fact that truth is only true and nothing else is true. The illusion, the misperception that there could be a different truth is misperception. And I choose to accept that truth. The second law says that I have sinned, that I deserve to be attacked. This again is a misperception, erroneous thinking. Today I choose for the truth. I choose for the joy of God. And the joy of God says, you are my treasure. You are my joy. You, Mary, Sam, Rebecca, you are my treasure. You are my affection. And therefore, you could never do anything wrong. You are as I created you, perfect, whole, and complete. Today, as decision maker, choose for that truth, that you remain sinless as God created you. You are merely an adventuresome aspect of the one self, learning, being, demonstrating in this world of seeming hate and fear what love would have me do. And through that act, you reawaken a sleeping mind to the truth of what you really are. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I choose the truth that we are sinless as God created us. The third law is that God has accepted that his child, his treasure, somehow has not perfect wholeheartedly, has sinned. How can this be? God is only love. You, an effect. Like begets like, and love gives all to all. Nothing is held back. Therefore, God, being unconditional love, gives you everything. God, being unconditional love, cannot be hurt. Any supposed action that we, an effect, could somehow cause God to be transformed into a God of judgment, a God that could be hurt, that could seek revenge, that could be cruel. That is the illusion. That is the misperception. God is only unconditional love. And our belief, our misperception cannot transform or change a God of unconditional love. Our illusion can only deny that flow of love. It can't stop it. And therefore, today, as decision makers, we have a choice to choose the joy of God. God of unconditional love instead of the pain that our belief that we could do something that could transform God of unconditional love into something that God is not and somehow create the idea of cruelty or of pain. I accept the joy of God instead of the pain of my misperception that God sees me, not as He created, but somehow not perfect, not whole, not complete. I remain as God's treasure. I accept the love of God, for I am the recipient of that unconditional love. I accept the love of God and I remove all blocks, these laws, misperception, these erroneous beliefs. They're not laws, they're misperceptions. They're beliefs that have created pain. Today, I accept the love of God. I release all misperceptions, all these beliefs that create pain for myself and my world. The fourth law or belief for misperception is this idea that the world is a zero sum game. That if I am to gain, someone must lose, that I must steal the limited resources that I believe I need to survive. This is false. This cannot be. This is the denial of the truth. This is the belief in lack, limitation, and separation. When I extend the love of God, there is no loss. There is no suffering. For the law of God, the true law, is to give, is to receive. I extend the love of God, and in return, I receive the love of God. I receive it from all that is. I accept the love of God, and I extend that same love, and it's returned to me. The Course says, beyond our dreams, tenfold, a thousandfold. I extend that love of God, and I receive back that same love for the idea that there is lack, that there is sacrifice when we realize that minds are joined, that I am part of that indivisible one self. What I give, I receive, for there is nobody or nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to control, nothing to protect, nothing to impress. There is nothing. God is, and we are that one. This notion of separation is another misperception, a belief that I, as decision maker, get to choose. Today, I choose, I make the choice for the joy of God instead of pain, this belief that I have to take from others and that sacrifice could be real. Today, I share my thoughts. I extend the thought that I am loved, and I receive that same thought back. For I am here to demonstrate what love would have me do in this game board of time and space, this game board where minds appear to sleep, and are gently reawakened to the magnificence that they are the Christ. The final law of misperception is that there's a substitute for love, that somehow unconditional love can be replaced by conditional love. Why would I want this? Why would I want to now, instead of having total acceptance, being loved for what I am, having the realization that I am value for my being, for my beingness, that nothing is demanded of me? Why would I want to accept the pain of the illusion that there could be a substitute for love, this unconditional love, and that there could be something called conditional love, in which bartering is required, in which I give to get and the other party gives to get, in which I perceive myself or the other to lack, to need something, to not be perfect whole, that I need to earn someone's love, or that if they don't play the rules, their part, that I believe that they need to earn my love, they force me to stop loving them, to cruelly withdraw my love, to say that because you didn't give me your paycheck, or you didn't make me happy, now I must withdraw my love. And since in time and space, the idea of withdrawing my love appears to be possible, because I believe that the false can be made real, can be made true. I, by withdrawing my love, place a block into my acceptance of the love of God. And now, since I give my hate, my judgment, I perceive that I get judgment in return. There is no substitute for love. Even in this world of time and space, this illusion, this grand illusion in which we can believe and misperceive the truth of what we really are. The truth remains. The Holy Spirit knows the truth, that our minds appear to be asleep, to have forgotten, and to have slipped into the beliefs of misperception. Today, as decision, I choose the joy of God instead of pain, the false beliefs that misperception has created, that is the source of all pain, all suffering. I accept the love of God, and I reject my misperception of what I accept the love of God, and I release the belief that my misperception could have changed the truth. I accept the joy of God, and I release all belief that my world, myself, could be a sin. I accept the joy of God, and I release, drop the belief that God could be a God of judgment or wrath. God can only be God of unconditional love. I accept the love of an unconditional God, and I extend that same love. No judgment, just acceptance. I accept the joy of God, and I release all belief that I have to earn my way back. I accept my divine inheritance because it has been given to me. It cannot be lost. I accept the joy of God, and I demonstrate unconditional love. Today, no judgment, no making someone wrong or thinking that someone has to make me happy. Today, I accept all things, allow all things, trust all things, forgive all things, and by listening to the voice for truth, the guide to the Holy Spirit, I transform all illusion, all these misperceptions that pain, and that is the cause of pain. I transcend them, for I accept and choose for the joy of God today. Pain, suffering, those illusions, I release. Gone. I, as the decision, make a choice for the truth. Today, this lesson asks you to accept the joy of God instead of pain. You have that choice every moment of where you are when you are. Today, choose the joy of God. Release all notions that you could be something other than as God created. And as you make that decision for the joy of God, just start becoming aware of the game board, the costume, the body, and start reconnecting with this game board and realize that as an actor, you get to decide how you're going to play your role. And today, we're going to accept the direction of the Holy Spirit that knows the big picture and knows how everything is supposed to unfold. To the reawakening, the gentle reawakening of minds that appear to sleep. I accept the love of God, and I extend that love to my world, to my sisters, to my brothers, to my dog, to the planet, to myself, and to God. I accept the love of God, and I extend that truth to my world. My world will be a reflection of me. The law of seeing says that what you see is what you will feel within. Today, I feel the joy of God. And when you feel connected and you've made that decision to accept the joy of God. Just take a deep breath, reconnect with the world, this game world, and go about your day. The God in me recognizes the God in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you,
That
Tom.
was
That
great,
was
Tom.
wonderful. Appreciate it. I'm going to wrap up the stream so we can pack up and get on the road, but remain for the conversation. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Lovely will stay, but the other Lee will go. That's what I'm going to do. All right. See you
Okay.
guys soon.
Lee, please make me a moderator. Um, this is really the antidote for anybody who has spent time in their life playing with ideas of suicide. Um, it's it's why people get to a point of entertaining suicide, because it's it's we write a script of what is going to happen, and we act